And I'm kind of paranoid, to be honest with you. A lot of those people were pretty bad and they went away for a long time. So welcome back to the sawmill, friends. Let me show you guys what we're working on today. So I got this dunnage finished up this morning. This right here, the board that we were working on had the pith in it and the juvenile core, but I was able to get several nice 9/4 sticks out of it. We use that for dunnage whenever we're stacking up these slabs and they're too wide for the pile. You can never have enough dunnage around a sawmill or a farm. You can find a use for this stuff all the time, and it's a great use for the pith of a log because it's pretty much useless when it comes to lumber, but for dunnage, it works really good. And next up on the sawmill, we got these two beams right here that we sawed in the previous video. They're just over 16/4 in thickness, and if you're new to this channel, 16/4 is 4 inches. We're going to put both of these in the sawmill, actually one at a time. Get rid of this live edge and square these up to about 12 1/4 on the width. Then we're going to plane them on all 4 sides. Then we're going to burn them, and then we're going to saw a kerf in them, and we'll talk about that later and why we're doing that. I've also got to anchor seal them, cut them to length. Try to get these finished up today pretty much, and it should take the biggest part of the day to get all this done right here. Got some slabs right there. Need to set these aside for the chipper. But before we start on these, I got something else to do. And that is, I got to sell some hay. I got about 25 round bales over here to ship out today to a farmer that lives down the road. This is my second cutting of hay, and I was going to save it for my own cows, but guess what? I don't have cows yet. I'm not even close to having cows yet. Who knows if it even happened in the next 6 months or so. And if it does, it'll be springtime by then, and they'll just eat off the pasture. So I might as well sell this hay right now, get it out of my way, and bring in some money. And he will be here in about 15 minutes. And instead of using the Kubota to load the hay, I think I'm going to put the hay spear on Mr. Cotto and use that instead. And the skid steer should be a lot faster than the tractor for loading up hay. I've never done it with the skid steer, but we're going to find out here in just a minute. And while we're waiting on Ray to get here with the truck to load up this hay, I need to touch on something real fast here. It's pretty important. I really appreciate you guys watching my channel, commenting, subscribing, etc., etc. I really do enjoy it, and I love making these videos, but please do not show up at my house. I've had several people show up at my house over the past week, more than usual, and it's got to stop. I had one guy show up here on Christmas Day. I had another guy show up just the other day, and he was parked up on the hill, kind of looking down, trying to find out where my house was. And I'm kind of paranoid, guys, to be honest with you. I was a cop for almost 15 years, and I showed a lot of people to prison that were headed that way pretty much. I didn't put them there, they put themselves there, but I kind of showed them the way there because they were doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing. And I'm kind of paranoid, to be honest with you. A lot of those people were pretty bad and they went away for a long time, so I'm always looking over my shoulder to make sure nobody shows up to try to get some revenge on me. But anyways, that's one of the reasons. The other reason is this is my residence, I live here, this is not a commercial location, this isn't a place you go to look at lumber to buy. I do sell lumber, but it's by appointment only, and that's to a customer that I've had a prearranged deal with before they show up here. So if you don't mind, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos, and this is not a rant or nothing like that, and I'm not fussing about it, but all I'm saying is please don't show up at my residence, okay? I had several people show up here over the past week, and they pull up to my house. I don't know who they are, and it's really uncomfortable. And it's not invited. I'm not inviting you guys to my house. I'm inviting you here through these videos, but that's about as close as you're going to get, to be honest with you. I just cannot deal with people showing up here all the time. It's got to stop. So, thanks in advance. All right, guys, real fast. This is not sponsored, but if you're doing any kind of work with beams like this and you hate kind of eyeballing it, do yourself a favor and buy this jig right here. It's called the Flat Top. It is made locally down in Morristown, Tennessee. But like I said, guys, this is not sponsored or nothing like that. These guys have no idea I'm making this video today. But I'll leave a link down below in the video description. And it sure makes cutting beams like this accurate and safer. But guys, it works great. It swings like that right there. It's not going to hit nothing. It's not going to hit you. It's got a stop right there so it can't come back and hit you. A really safe way to cut a beam or a post to length. And you can have this up in the air, such as this post right here. Now let's say you need to cut that off up there at the very top. You can clamp that to the top and get on a ladder and do it up in the air. Kind of unique story about this. It was designed by a machinist, so you know it's going to be accurate. And he was building a pole barn and he got tired of climbing a ladder and eyeballing his post. So he built this. It takes all the guesswork out of it. I need to measure how far back. 1.5 inches. That's very important. If you buy this, after you make your cut, measure back how far it is to the jig and the end of your beam, so you can deduct that whenever you make your measurement for your length. So I got 1.5 inches right there. This needs to be 12 feet long. So I'll go down here and mark 12 feet, then I'll come back 1.5 inches, and that's where we will put the jig. If one of you guys will hold that tape, I sure would appreciate it. So right here I'm marking 12. I'll come back 1.5 inches, which will be 42.5. And that's where the jig will be, which will give us 12 foot in length. And before I forget about it, let's throw some anchor seal on here. That will help fight checking right here on this end grain. With anchor seal, more is better. And when this stuff dries, you won't see it, but they do have some anchor seal that's actually colored. It's got some pigment in it, so you can mark your logs. But I like the clear stuff so I could see the end grain whenever I got this on the sawmill. This stuff is made by UC Coatings up north, and the cheapest place I've found to get it is on Amazon. And I think this is the best brush as well. It's a masonry brush that lasts several years. I'll leave a link down below in the video description. And while this stuff is drying, and it doesn't take very long, I'm gonna run up to the shop and get my little Honda generator to run this planer. So these beams are right at 12 1/4 on the width, and that planer is 12 1/4 as far as the capacity. I went sideways just a little right here and I messed this edge. So I'm taking my knife and kind of getting that high spot down right there. It's a little proud of the beam. If I had my jack plane down here, I could do this in about 10 seconds. Friends, that beam looks pretty good. This right here is my fault. That's the chain turner right there digging into that. I should use my clamp. And this right here, this snap, is because I had to stop with the planer because my cord got hung on the sawhorses right there. So that's my fault as well. And other than that, man, it looks pretty good. It does a really nice job at putting a good surface on your material right there. That's a nice machine. It sure is expensive, but it's good to have around. And that one has planer knives on it, but I'm pretty sure you can get a helical head for that as well. I may buy one day and switch that out. It makes for changing your cutters a whole lot easier. All right, guys, unfortunately, it looks like I'm done for the day. The next step on those beams are burning them and cutting a kerf in it to reduce the checking. And I'm out of propane. I brought a tank down here. I just checked it and it's actually empty, so I can't do that today. I guess I'll be headed to the dollar store tomorrow to switch out my propane tanks. So we can't go any further until that's done. Sorry about that, but I should have checked that yesterday. I'm not sure why I didn't check that yesterday, but that's the way things goes. And I think I'll buy an extra propane tank, so I got one extra one on hand. So anyways, learn by my mistakes, have something on hand extra, and plan better. I should have planned better. So in closing here, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Any of the products or tools that I used in this video, not really products, well, just anchor seals a product, I'll list down the video description. I'm not trying to sell you guys anything. I don't care if you buy it or not, but I get multiple emails after videos asking where they can find a tool at that I show in a video. So if I put it down, if I put it down in the video description, maybe it'll save you guys some of the hassle of trying to email me and me responding a week later, and it would get you to that site a lot faster. So there's links down below to that flat top jig for the chainsaw, the anchor seal. I'll even put a link down for that giant planer over there, but man, it's high. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow.